there's strength in numbers. But
Absolutely.
if 10,000 of you all have that same mentality, what's my one vote? We just lost 10,000 votes, right?
Right.
And that it counts. So your one vote counts.
Right. And I think it's important to be heard.
Yes.
If they start seeing large clusters of people voting within the Asian communities throughout America, when they go up and make their political speech, their debate, when they say black, white, Spanish, and they'll stop right there, they're going to say Asian.
Yeah.
You know, so most of the time when I hear these presidential candidates or mayors or whoever, and they're speaking, at times I feel like the stepchild.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
To vote for, if there's a language barrier, how would they know which candidate is going to be the right one to keep their medical costs down or protect their interests?
Oh, so I also used to work for a political
She worked
candidate.
everywhere.
I know I'm a job whore.
No.
So what they do is they pass out palm cards, and in other states, the candidates' names, either they translate it into Chinese or they number the candidates on the ballots. Like, so in Florida, you just click on the number instead of the candidate's name. So it's easier on everybody.
Right. But how would they know who to vote for? Like,
So they
what
do
does this person stand
campaigning.
for? Oh, so they do that. They actually do take their time out along the campaign trail and make a stop within the Chinese or the Asian communities.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think in Philadelphia, because I was just near that senior home. I'm just assuming this candidate that they were all voting for, who was Asian, he either made a visit to the senior home or to their local senior center and just gave a speech, or just get to connect with them, and they just kind of went, oh yeah, we'll vote for you, we'll vote for you. So they will all come with the mailer that they got in the mail, and they say, this is who I want to vote for. So and he might have been the only candidate, and so they just went along with it because maybe. And there was one older gentleman came and says, I want to vote for the Asian guy. So they're just only voting by race. I'm like, okay. And I'm not going to dispute. I'm just really here to help you get your vote through.
Right.
So like a lot of them needs to be educated, right? We all know.
That's what I was wondering. The whole time you guys are going, I'm going, wait a minute. If there's a language barrier.
There is.
And they're concerned about keeping costs low to protect their finances and their interests. And of course, that's why we all vote. We want a better system for each one of our families. And I'm going, well, if you don't understand what this guy is talking about, how do you select the right one for you?
I did ask someone who's knows Chinatown well in the newspapers. I asked, because I know the American news, the English media, they usually put out just before the election every candidate, what they stand for, the platform. I asked, does any of the Chinese newspapers do that? They go, I don't think so.
Why not?
I don't know, and I can't say that's true or not because I can't read I don't read the Chinese newspaper. But if you're listening, if you don't do that, it would be great if you do.
But every newspaper seems to swing a certain way. So would there even be some bias depending on what you read?
Well, you can buy an ad for yourself in the paper, and that's exactly what
fair.
my boss did back then, because she represents Lower East Side in Chinatown, and she was a Latina herself, and so she knew her strategy was always to target both the Latinos and the Chinese folks who are living in
within
her
that
area.
Neighboring towns,
right?
You're killing two birds with one stone. That's it's a smart political strategy.
So if I might, Judy's Chinese much better than mine, but if I would try to educate the community, the Asian community, who the candidates are and what they stand for, so they can decide for themselves, not just say, oh, I just want to vote for the Asian guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, the Asian guy, great.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and he's a Korean American, a city councilman in Philadelphia, and he did promise them health care.
Okay.
So let's hope he followed through.
Hey, I'm all for voting for the Asian guy. But the Asian guy needs to have, the right interests in place. But I'm all for that. I'm like Andrew Yang. I thought he had some really smart things and great ideas.
But not just great ideas, but not just for the Asian community. For everyone.
Right.
So it wasn't because he was Asian, but it was a bonus for us. Like, oh yeah, okay, cool. He's
Asian, but he's talking a lot of things that make sense.
Now, why do you think that voter turnout for that demographic, that 20 to 50-year-old Asian Americans, is becoming more prevalent?
Right now, I mean, who's our president again?
So do you think that's it? It's because we have a presidential candidate that they may be unhappy with, so that's really fueling them up to go out there and make a difference?
Yeah, I had one older gentleman who said, I'm registering because I'm not happy with the current president. He's voting for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And also, I believe voting became a lot sexier over the past few years, not even the past 10 years. And people are blowing it up over Instagram, Twitter.
That's true.
Celebrities are like, go and
There's
vote.
hashtags. All
But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
was
yeah.
but this was like 4 years ago too. You mean, is it more sexier than 4 years ago?
How do you define sexy
I
in
think it's getting-
voting? I don't know.
I think it has more appeal these days.
More appeal?
and it's almost people. If you tell someone that no, I don't vote or I never voted, people look at you more like, oh, that's weird. You know, than years past where people just kind of took it like, oh, you didn't vote? Yeah, me neither. Like, not like it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I get a lot of that.
But that's
Yeah.
turning. That wave seems to be. I do see that tide. It's changing a bit. That narrative. People are believing that, you know what, my vote does count. And as a community, maybe I personally can't do something, but together as a community, we can really shift the landscape and protect our interests. Because I think part of that, people were starting to realize that we're in this together.
Yes.
You know, it's COVID. One thing COVID has made us realize is that we are in this together, for better or for worse, especially with Asian Americans. I've never seen us more cohesive than now.
Right, with being in Chinatown doing the voter registration, everybody, well, majority were all like the seniors, right? And you know, those who some were very excited to vote, and some who walked by go, I don't want to register, I don't know who to vote for, you know. So you know, we try to explain to them, well, you know, your vote matters, right? Because you know, we want not just for representation, but the strength in numbers. But
Absolutely.
if 10,000 of you all have that same, you know, mentality, what's my one vote? We just lost 10,000 votes, right?
Right,
And that
right.
and that it counts. So your one vote counts.
Right. And I think it's important to be heard.
Yes.
If they start seeing large clusters of people voting within the Asian communities throughout America, when they go up and make their political speech, their debate, when they say black, white, Spanish, and they'll stop right there, they're gonna say Asian.
Yeah.
You know, so most of the time when I hear these presidential candidates or mayors or whoever, and they're speaking, at times I feel like the stepchild.